Hi, this is S Fans. Welcome back to Tori Talks TV. I'm Tori.
And I'm Dr. S.
In this video, we'll be discussing This Is Us, the final season, season 6, episode 8, which is entitled The Guitar Man. And this was directed by Milo Ventimiglia.
Oh, I love
Jack Pearson. Yes, he did a great job. And this was the last Kevin-centric episode of the series. And while it was a very important episode for many reasons, I don't think it was very much about Kevin.
No.
It was more about Cassidy.
Yes.
Which that topic of Vex coming back and having no transition back into civilian life, it needed to be talked about.
Yes.
I'm glad that This Is Us did that. So I'm not dissing this episode, but for it to be about Kevin mostly.
Yeah. I was really grateful that they did this because throughout the series, they have had talked about this, right? Like veterans and how to support them. And with Jack and Nicky and now Cassidy, I'm really glad that they took the time to have this important episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, this is wonderful. I just think it was an odd time to highlight it just because it was supposed to just be about Kevin. But I know Cassidy has something to do with Kevin. But then it bears the question of, well, is Cassidy going to come back into his life? Just because why would they fixate such a, this episode around her so much if she wasn't going to be a bigger part of his life?
Was wondering too. I feel like they're still trying to trick us throughout. But I did like, though, the way that it tied back to Kevin at the pool when he broke up with Sophie. And he was standing on that diving board, but on the empty pool. And it looked like, he was kind of contemplating certain things, like possibly suicide, and then kind of linking that to Cassidy. So I don't think it was like 100% explicit, but kind of implied.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of like, I think present day Kevin, people might not have thought that he could really relate, but I think they were showing us, the audience, that he did have these deeper, darker demons that were kind of more in his past now.
Oh, right? Yeah, for sure. Well, just to go way back to little Kevin, it's so crazy because Kevin wants to dive in without knowing how to swim. Does that much kind of sum up Kevin?
Yes.
It's kind of
I was so nervous that there was going to be a near-death experience for him. I didn't want to see that.
No.
So I'm glad.
Kevin.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beginning of it being he'll never live up to his dad and Jack Pearson, like the great Jack Pearson. And why is he always feeling like he doesn't measure up? Or even when he was youngish, the empty pool Kevin, that one, and he was basically saying that he wasn't as good as his siblings either. Like he just never feels like he's good enough. But really, when Nicky kind of says to him, hey, like, just be yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say anything to Cassidy. Just like, you know what I mean? Stop trying to be like, well, what would my dad Jack do? Just be yourself.
Yeah, and when he does that, he's a really great person.
Yes, he is a really great person. And I just feel like, while I love that Cassidy got that little, vets really.
Yes, through her character, there was a platform to talk about these important issues.
But it is a little ironic to me that Kevin, once again, didn't really get his episode. I know something about it was like, wow, it's supposed to be about Kevin and it wasn't about Kevin, but maybe it didn't need to be about Kevin. Maybe that was the whole point of it. But there were great moments like when he had to take his twins on a plane the first time and they were crying, and there's something really hilarious yet endearing about how he's taking care of them. Yeah.
And then by the end, how he conquers it. And because that's a lot. I would not want to take two babies, two infants on an airplane, even though he had first class.
Even with first class, no. Crying babies on a plane, too, is like my worst nightmare.
And especially in first class, because now there's all these people around you who have paid a lot of money for their tickets, and they're like, oh, great.
He's like, drinks on
Crying
me.
Baby, and stinky diapers. Drinks on me.
And they're like, no, it's first class. They get drinks for free. But I do love to see Uncle Nicky being as happy as ever, and I love Edie, and I love them together, and Nicky has just never seemed better.
I know. Yeah. I'm so happy about that.
He's thriving.
Yes.
So it was really cute when they're all together, and Edie's there, and for a moment, I kind of had like a little, I don't know, I was thinking that stewardess on the plane on the flight back was kind of looking at Kevin, and I was like, are you going to get your own Edie? Like your own stewardess? But yes, I think this is the creators just always trying to like plant.
Yes,
put plants
it was a
there.
little trickery because they showed this happiness, and it wasn't the conventional family happiness, but everyone was smiling and getting along.
Yeah.
But then it just went south from there with, how that joy and then the darkness after when Cassidy tries to sleep and can't.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, so Cassidy basically attempts suicide. But I mean, she's just so haunted by everything, what she went through in the past, and then the present day. She lost her husband, not lost him, but they're not doing well, and then she just has to try to feel like this normal person again and be around her kid, and that was devastating and just so sad. But what was really cool is that before all this, Cassidy's basically facilitating the construction of the Pearson compound, which is exciting. But then just to go off of that, she hired vets to do it.
I know, that was awesome.
And then at the end, he's like, I'm going to find more stuff for you to build. I mean, that's
going to be like the Big Three Construction.
Oh,
I'm thinking, right? Because wasn't he looking at the logo? That kind of, right. So maybe this is going to be how it goes.
It's going to come full circle.
But
yes, I will say as far as closure or tying up loose ends, we didn't get any of that for Kevin, in my opinion. No. Maybe he grew a little bit. I mean, he's definitely the challenge of taking the babies on the plane, and he did really well by the end. And
I mean, I think there's still going to be some who's he going to end up with, if anyone, questions, because, we still have that scene at Kate's wedding, that flash forward, where Madison's really playfully with him, flirting kind of, or potentially flirtatious. So I don't know. I still think that it can go that way.
I've seen a lot of viewers say they think that she's endgame, but there's still the minority of us that think that it's going to end up with Sophie, which I'm still going to hold out hope for. What about you? Who do you want him to end up with, or do you want him to end up with
honestly, I kind of think it's going to be Madison, but also second choice is going to be no one. I choose me moment.
Yay! Yes, he needs a lot of that right now. But to end up that way, I can't see him doing that. It's just it's Kevin, Yeah. But either way, this was a good episode, and it was so great. It was wonderful. It was beautiful, actually. Yes. And so yes, everybody, please take notice. And I love that thing at the end where they say if you need help, just anything like that is all great. But yes, for the last Kevin-centric episode, I don't know. It didn't seem appropriate, but good nonetheless. What did you guys think of this Kevin-centric episode? Let us know below by commenting, and then please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.